21. No tobacco under 21. No vaping supplies under 21. It's 21 for a reason.
Youth that use alcohol are more likely to engage in other risky behaviors, such as gambling. Learn the warning signs and how to talk to your children about addiction.
It's 21 for a reason. Brought to you by CIRAC and funded in partnership with SAMHSA. Find out more at CIRACCT.org.
Hi, my name is Dr. Katina Simmons. I'm the optometrist and the new owner of Grizzled Eye Care, formerly the office of Dr. Joel Zuckerbaum. I would like to welcome you and your family to make an appointment today for an eye exam. Even though the name has changed, we are still providing the same family-friendly eye care as Dr. Z. We are located at 8 North Main Street in Jewett City. You can also find Grizzled Eye Care on Facebook and send us a message. Don't forget that eye exams correlate to your whole body health too. It's not just new glasses and contacts. So come see me, Dr. Katina Simmons, at the all-new Grizzled Eye Care, formerly Dr. Zuckerbrand's. Hope to see you soon.
Family owned and operated. That's something you don't hear too often anymore. Highway Campers of Plainfield is now 3 generations in and going strong. If you're looking to upgrade or get your first RV, contact the family that knows RVs, Highway Campers. They'll walk you through the process of finding the right RV for you and can even finance it for you. Visit www.highwaycampers.com and find your home on wheels. After all, home is where you park it. Highway Campers is a proud supporter of Griswold Youth Football.
Life is full of choices. At Jewett City Savings Bank, we can make one choice easy, finding the right checking account. We offer a range of affordable accounts to fit your budget and needs, and each gives you the freedom to access your money the way you want, online, through our mobile app, or with your debit card. It's your money and your choice. To learn more about the account that's right for you, stop by one of our offices or visit us at jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank, member FDIC.
There are a lot of places that you might think about when it comes time for new tires for your car or truck. But have you thought about Advanced Automotive in Griswold? Trusted for years when it comes to automotive repair, and now for great deals on tires. Advanced Automotive has many suppliers to beat their prices. Let Jess at Advanced show you. Advanced Automotive for repairs and now tires too. Advanced Automotive. Find them on Facebook.
Live from Main Street, your community radio.
Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilick in the morning, and 80s all day and night.
SNSN. Your community radio. Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilick in the morning, and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
All right. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning.
What's happening?
Living the life.
Living life, living large.
Living it up big on this beautiful spring morning. Fell on my ass. Scraping off the ice off my car.
Yeah, so tell us about that. What happened?
Well, I was going out to scrape the ice off my car and didn't realize it was clear ice on the ground. Can't say the other one. So I wanted to make sure that my ice windshield was all nice and clear, you know, like be the respectable citizen.
Yeah.
Backfired.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Fell on your backfire.
Yeah. Luckily, it was already hurting, so what's the difference?
Just add to it, right? Oh, my God.
But other than that, it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good trip.
Great. I'm glad it worked out for you.
Didn't break anything. So
see, you know, we're looking at these new camera angles, and here we are. We're looking at each other, and actually, it depicts that we're looking at each other in the camera shot.
Bonus.
Yesterday, it was in reverse, and people were like all up in arms over it.
Well, I kept saying just switch the camera angle like you did eventually.
So there we go. I switched them.
You switched them back?
Yes.
So now we're looking away from each other?
Now we're looking at it. So let's turn around, see if it looks like hey, everybody, what's going on? Hey, Rich, does it look like I'm looking right at Rich right now?
Looking at the back of my head?
I'm looking at the corner of the room. Is what I'm looking at. It's like, hey, what's going on? You guys don't like this, huh? It's weird.
It puts an interesting twist in the morning. That's all.
So I'll just switch it back. There we go. So we have speaking of an interesting twist, we have a a guy coming in named Erich Steinhagen. He'll be in a little after 9:00, and he has some ties to some people in Ukraine. And as of yesterday, this gentleman that he knows, his name is Albert. He has a nonprofit organization in the Ukraine. It's an orphanage, and they have fled. They're gone. They got out of the country. They went to Austria. Now they're in Germany.
Oh,
so I guess his internet is sketchy at best, but we're certainly gonna try to have him on a little after 9:00.
Sweet.
Via social media. At least we'll try to get something. So it'll give people a first-hand account of what's going on.
Yeah, excellent.
Over there, and you don't have to instead of relying on what CNN says or what Fox News says, or there's Eric now. Or anybody.
Yeah. Get it right out of the horse's mouth, they say.
Exactly. Yep. So we'll have to see what happens. And speak of the devil, here he is. He's walking in the door already.
Morning. How are you?
You're over here, though.
I'm here.
Yeah, right next to Rich.
Oh, hey.
What's up, buddy? How are
Rich,
you?
Eric, Rich. So
how things going?
Good. This is your microphone. Rich, you're gonna have to move over a little bit more.
All right.
And just because we want to make sure we get
how's that? Good?
Eric in the shot.
You get my good side? You got my good side there?
Well, actually,
is that a no?
No, I'm just waiting to see where Eric's going to land.
Okay.
So, no, Eric, nope. No? Are you sitting or not? Are you going to sit? Well, actually,
he was sitting really, but
I was sitting.
Go this way. Go this way.
I showered this morning, so
all right. A little more, go. Rich. You're going to have to go a little more.
A
little more, because otherwise you guys would be in each other's lap. Yeah, that's fine. Okay,
Roger.
And
Roger. You don't want me in your lap?
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
There you go. Actually, yeah, we got half of Eric's head.
Oh,
there's your camera right there.
Oh, okay. So I'm actually.
There you go. Oh, that's great.
I'm
no,
actually
you're right here.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, no.
I'm a little. All right. So should I stand? Should I sit? Doesn't matter.
You're almost even with me standing up, probably.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. That's why I'm sitting. I'm too tall.
Okay.
So anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Oh, sure.
So
thanks for inviting me in.
Well, your wife Janice Steinhagen had she stopped by last week, and then she started telling me the story about some connections that you had in Ukraine, and the one gentleman by the name of Albert.
Yes.
And I thought it was a really, really relevant and good story.
Okay.
Because I think there's, we watch the news, right? And we watch either Fox or CNN or MSNBC or Reuters or
right.
And everybody has a different take. And getting a firsthand account, is always the best thing. So sure. I mean, I know that maybe he can join us, maybe he can't. It's going to depend.
Right. I actually got an email from him this morning, and he said he'd be standing by. Now the question is, was he able to download your app that you gave me?
There's nothing to download. All he's going to do is click on that link.
Okay, click on the link, whatever. Okay, so if he's able to do that, if not, I don't know. And he did say his internet connection is real spotty right now.
Yeah.
So so it's a question mark. It'd be nice to hear from him, but we'll see.
Okay. So give us an idea, or if you could tell us, start the story out a little bit on how you met Albert and how this connection started.
Sure. Well, some years ago, I developed sort of an interest in the orphan issue worldwide, and in my perusal of things, I found on the internet a website called the Happy Child Foundation, and they were profiling orphans that they were in contact with, and there was one kid in particular that I really felt a connection with. And long story short, we started sort of a correspondence, and I was able to talk to him. I was able to, do a little bit of internet connection, and we over time, I think, developed something of a friendship, and this website, which is run by the foundation. It's called Happy Child, and
this is in the Ukraine.
In Ukraine, it's in Zaporozhye, Ukraine, which is Zaporozhye may be somewhat familiar to us now because that's where a lot of the fighting is, and that's also where the nuclear power plant is that is kind of under attack. So
it's the biggest one in Europe, right?
That's what they say. Yeah.
Surprise, the third at least of the power or something to Europe.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know the statistics, to be honest with you. I really don't know, but I can tell you that it is really quite important. And Zaporozhye itself is a fair-sized city. I looked it up. I thought it was over 1 million people, but it turns out it's like 750,000 people. So it's still a lot of people.
So it's bigger than Griswold.
A little bit.
A bit. Yeah. I mean, think of the size of maybe Hartford, actually, or close. I don't know how many people does Hartford have.
I don't even know.
But anyway, so it's a good-sized city, and it's a very industrial city. And this orphanage was located there. But in my correspondence, I was able to talk to Albert, via email, etc. And he basically invited me over. He says, "Come on over." So it was like, wow. And so I did. I finally got to.
You had to feel pretty comfortable with this guy, and if somebody says, hey, come on over from a different country, and
yeah. I mean, it was quite remarkable, and the whole experience was really quite remarkable. But I got to meet him, and I also got to meet Anton, which is the young man that I'd been corresponding with, and had some really excellent experiences while I was over. Now, this was about 10 years ago, so it was a while back. People weren't really thinking much about Ukraine. They kind of were aware of it, but if anything, it was kind of like the butt of a joke on Seinfeld, that sort of thing. It wasn't really, people weren't, it wasn't in their radar. Yeah. But what I found is the people of Ukraine are really remarkable people. I mean, it's a post-Soviet state. Ukraine itself, in Soviet times, was known as the Ukraine, which meant it was...
and that's usually how I address it.
Right. Yeah. But see, the problem with saying the Ukraine or the Ukraine is that it's indicating that it's actually, a region within the Russian or the Soviet Federation.
It's actually the Balkans, right?
Not near. It's on the Black Sea.
Yeah.
So it's not part of the Balkans. It's not far.
Yeah.
But Ukraine, when you refer to it as Ukraine, that's acknowledging that they've become independent and they're now, a place unto themselves. So if you talk to a Ukrainian, they much prefer that you refer to it as Ukraine, not the Ukraine. So,
you don't want to call it the Belarus or
exactly.
the Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they really refer to themselves as the East or West or anything like that, like the news depicts them?
Do they? Yes, Eastern and Western Ukraine are two distinct. I won't say they're part of the same country, but certainly the eastern part of Ukraine, which is, by the way, the part I visited, is primarily Russian speaking. At least that part I was visiting. So the reasons for that are kind of long and varied, but they have to do with Stalin and his policies. He basically early in the 20th century he instituted what was almost like a genocidal policy of starving Ukrainians, and he ended up killing millions, which is something we don't hear much about. But he replaced all those Ukrainians, which he did away with Russians. I mean, he sent them over. So there's a lot of ethnic Russians in that part of Ukraine. It's really nasty kind of history. But if you talk to any Ukrainians, they'll tell you, what that means. It was a huge, it's almost like how we refer to the Holocaust. That's how serious it is to them, and it, with good reason, because it was really devastating. But in
when President Zelensky was talking about how the Russians were bombing historical sites.
Yeah.
And they kind of, it was kind of like this akin to the Holocaust. I'm assuming this is what they're speaking to.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I did visit Kyiv a couple times. I kind of flew into Kyiv a couple of times. So I was able to, and one occasion I was able to spend a day or two there. Mm-hmm. Beautiful city. I mean, absolutely gorgeous city. And they're very proud of it, justifiably. It's very modern. People don't realize Ukraine is really a quite modern state. I mean, although economically there's a big divide.
You mean between the East and the West, or are you talking about between the
Ukraine
and the poor? Oh, okay,
rich and the poor in Ukraine.
Sounds like Connecticut.
Yeah. Not so different, actually. Yeah.
Where are you from? Sandfield.
Yeah, Western and Eastern Connecticut have a similar.
Where are you from? Baltic.
Where the hell is that?
Sorry, people from Baltic. But,
yeah, absolutely. But it's a similar sort of thing, but it's much more pronounced. The rich in Ukraine are very rich, many of them. They own big automobiles and jets and everything else. But the poor, there's few. This is a big difference. There's few that have actual access to cars. So it's all they get around by. There's little buses they call marshutkas, which are great. They're almost like minivans, but they're a little bit bigger than a minivan, but you can fit like maybe 12 people in. And they get around from place to place on those things. And they're wonderful. I often thought that that's something we should emulate. Is those little marshutkas. You can get anywhere.
Well, the way gas prices are, that might happen.
For sure. The marshutka, yeah.
Do they have that public transportation? Or
they
is
do.
that
Yeah,
taxi?
that's actually it's kind of how it's. I think they're privately owned, but they're sort of publicly chartered, if you want to think of it
So
that
it's
way.
paid for by the state.
So they run certain routes, but you can hail them. If you see one going down the street, you can say, hey, stop, and they'll stop for you.
It's like the Magical Express at Disney. They don't own it, but
no, exactly. But it's a great. I mean, I liked it. But they also have buses. They have trolleys. But the marshutkas I really enjoyed because you could go anywhere in the city on those things if you knew where you were going.
Right.
But yeah. So
how big is Ukraine? I mean, to put it into perspective.
Okay. Good question. I'd have to look.
When I researched it, it was the third largest country in the.
Right, but compared to the United States,
compared to the United States, that's a good question. I will tell you this: the last I remember looking was around 35 million people, which is roughly the size of Canada population-wise.
Okay.
Area-wise, it's probably comparable to, say, Germany or France. So it's a big, for a European country, it's a big country. So,
slightly smaller than the state of Texas.
Here you go.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's sizable, and getting around is interesting because although around the cities, their transportation system is pretty advanced. It's like getting around Hartford is similar to getting around Kyiv, say, for instance.
I was kind of surprised when I watched some of the stuff that I thought they would be almost like you hear speculation. I thought like a third world country, and it's like very. No, it's very nice. I actually wouldn't mind visiting someday.
Well, here's the thing.
Maybe not now.
No. Wait a minute. If you go, be prepared to, dive in because I'm sure that somebody like you will be looking at you and saying, come on by. Toys. Yeah.
You go into some like a cocktail.
Yeah.
Molotov?
Yeah. Molotov. For sure. But their spirit is amazing. The people, I mean, as I say, most of the people are what we would categorize as lower economic status, but what they're able to do with that is really remarkable. I mean, they're able to, like I said, they're able to live perfectly well without automobiles, although they all,
it's part of their culture, I would imagine.
Yeah. But not to say that they don't have them. I mean, there's plenty of them. You go to the cities, there's all kinds of, there's Mercedes and supercars, going around, but it's because that's the ultra wealthy people. So it's not so different than here. It's just that the differences are more stark, so. But the kids were great. We had a wonderful time while I was there, and I went back like 3 or 4 times. and got to see the kids growing up. At one point, we went on a camping trip with them. We went to Crimea, which was really beautiful. I mean, think of a cross between Florida and California,
which they have its interesting history too, because they got taken over.
Oh yeah. Well, see, the year after I was there, they got
14.
Yeah, they got taken over. So.
No, I was just checking something out.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah.
So did you feel a difference down there
in Crimea?
Yeah, versus in the Ukraine itself?
Well, the big difference I noticed was, first of all, Crimea was and is actually many people still consider it a part of Ukraine.
Okay.
But
which some of the news say they don't. But
it was stolen. From them, essentially. Think of how we would feel if, say, I don't know, Mexico came and stole Florida away from us.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what happened.
Mm-hmm.
They just came and took it, and
which they kind of gave up in a way. They kind of were like, "Hey, we're not going to fight you. You're going to." Depending on what you watch, that's why I want to find out the truth.
Right. Well, I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know what exactly.
Well, you were told,
but I can tell you this that there's many people are hugely upset about that to this day. It's not something that just say, oh well, because that was such a gorgeous place. I mean, I have pictures. I can show you pictures. Yeah, Crimea. Absolutely beautiful there. I mean, it's
which is right next to Odessa, right?
Yeah, Odessa is there. Sevastopol or Sevastopol, depending on how you pronounce it, is down there. And when I was down there, there was the Russian Navy was down there. You can see.
Yeah, they shared the ports, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I hear that some of the lakes there. There's one that I think I hear is amazing. Crimea River.
Crimea River. And remind me why I'm here.
They call that.
I felt it. I took it and ran with it. Yeah. I'm going to sit down up now. I just.
So what got you interested in the orphanage aspect, though?
Well, I don't know. I just, at a certain point in my life, I was like looking around and thinking, I know there's a lot of, there's a lot of need in this world. And that was one of the things that attracted me, and I just, I just kind of started skirting around and found this online. And as I say, Albert runs this amazing charity. Now, everyone says, oh, yeah, so where's the orphanage? He doesn't work at an orphanage, and he doesn't run an orphanage. What he does is he runs a charity that essentially is there to help with the needs of orphans and other disadvantaged children, and in many needs. Among them is trying to find homes for these kids. Another, though, is become huge over the years, is that in Ukraine, while they do have a nationalized healthcare system, it's not funded very well. So if you break a leg or need stitches or something, you're okay. But if you have cancer or some other complex medical issue, they simply don't have the money to pay for it. So he spent a lot of time and effort on his website, and you'll see if you go on his website, basically raising money for these kids so that they can get help either in the country or oftentimes be sent out of the country to get the help they need.
So I'm sure a lot of them probably come here or something like that, right?
I think more to other countries in the European area.
Okay.
Yeah, and less. I mean, because we have a wonderful healthcare system, but Germany and Switzerland and places like that, are also very, very good in that regard. So,
they're advanced.
So rather than send them all the way over here, they take care of them there.
So how do we get a hold of Albert and have him join in?
Okay,
you said he was on standby.
Yeah, I've got a phone number we can try. And here, let's. Here's the number. Right here.
I don't have a phone in here.
So how do we do this?
I don't know. I don't think. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I think he's joined us.
Popping in.
I think so. Let's take a look here.
Maybe.
Albert, is that you?
Hi.
Oh, it's Albert. Albert, this is Eric. How are you?
I'm okay, but my internet connection very bad.
Okay.
We can hear you fine.
Yeah, we can hear you very well. So, Albert, I've just been explaining what you do and what you've been, what your charity does. We haven't talked about your story or your recent story, though. What prompted you to leave and what you went through? Could you explain what you went through, or what you had to do to get to where you're at now?
Okay, I will try, but I have very bad internet connection, and we are a big, very big Ukrainian family with about 10 children, biological and adopted, and we lived in Zaporozhye region of Ukraine. So after we heard about the war started in the morning, we had some fire explosions. So we understand that we will be on the way of Russian troops. So we start our moving. We took all the children and start moving to the western border of Ukraine.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we're still there. We're here.
You sound fine. You're coming in loud and clear here.
Yeah. So you were telling me.
So we had a very we had very difficult 3-4 days trip to the western border. We drove about 19 hours per day with 13 people in the car, and our car has only 8 seats, so it was very, very bad situation and very difficult for all of us. But also we were in contact to other families who lived in Zaporozhye region, and we tried to organize evacuation, but these families decided to wait what will happen. And unfortunately, 4 other big families like we, they stayed in Zaporozhye region, and all of them in occupied territories now.
So you were able to make it to the border, which was in Western Ukraine, and you crossed into Hungary, right?
Yes. After 2 or 3 days of rest, we decided to cross the border. We had no good documents for all children. We had no foreign passports, as we call it. But anyway, European Union allowed us to come, and also usually men not allowed, but for big families, for foster families, both parents allowed to come to cross the border. So we crossed the border to Hungary. We went to Budapest, and then we drove to the Vienna. And we had several days in Vienna. And after this trip, it was this health of our youngest child became very, very bad. He was exhausted. He is 3 years old, and he spent several days in hospital in Vienna.
But now you're in a town, a village outside of Munich, right?
Yes, and we found all the way in European Union people gave a lot of help everywhere, and we were suggested the free house for 2 months near Munich in Fischbachau village in Alps in Bavaria. So now we are here, and our conditions are very nice and very nice people around us. But anyway, our psychological, emotional state is like not nice, and we always contact Ukrainian relatives and try to do more and try to help with evacuation and send some money.
Well,
I don't even really know where to begin.
How was he allowed to leave? Because I saw on the news that they were saying that men between certain ages had to stay. They weren't allowed to leave. So how was he allowed to? That's what.
Did you hear that question, Albert?
It's a delay.
Can you repeat, please? Not very well. I heard not very well.
The question was asked. There was an understanding that men of certain ages were not allowed to leave, and they were wondering how is it that you were able to cross the border?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, men from 18 years old to 60 years old are not allowed to leave, but there are some exceptions. For example, if man is the only parent, or if it's a big family, 3 or more children, or if there are disabled child in the family. So, or men health of this man is not allow him go to army. So it's like this. Yes,
So-
okay, I hear you.
Yeah, good. No, it's fine. We can hear you loud and clear, Albert. So in your case, it sounds like you met all of those because you have children that are handicapped, and you also have a large extended family now with your own children and foster children. That's correct, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh. So we're so happy that we're able to talk to you this morning. It's wonderful, and I am very glad that you made it.
Oh, thank you.
So I have a question, Albert. My name is Mike. What happens? What happens now? Do you set up and live your life in Germany and stay there for the foreseeable future, or do you end up moving back to Ukraine when it's, I guess, safe?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understood you, and now we don't know what will happen later in future. So we have very big families, and some of our children have problems. So just to take care of all these children, it takes a lot or most of our time. Also, we plan to recover from the stress and decide what to do better. Also, we always in connection to Ukraine and to our village, which is on occupied territories, and unfortunately, we can't. Even if we have money, we can't just send money to them because money, nothing there. So you can have money on the bank card, but you can't buy anything in occupied territories. It's very, very difficult. So we trying to discover the way how we can help those families who left in occupied territories. We know that they are alive, but Russians troops around it, and it's not allowed for them to evacuate to Ukraine territory. They can be evacuated only to Russia. Of course, they don't want to do this. And in our house, Russian soldiers came to our house and see what's. So they made a base in our village, and 2 broken tanks stay near the house. So, and we try also to organize some care for our animals because we left about 12 cats and 5 dogs in the house. And some people who stayed here, we try to like organize some help, not only for people but also for these animals. So it's very, very busy days, and we don't know what will happen later in months or two.
Well, you have so much to deal with right now that it's hard to think far enough ahead to say what will ultimately happen.
Nope, he's not there.
It's not there.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll see if he comes back in. But
okay. Well, that was remarkable, and I'm so glad that we were able to reach him. Just to give you a little bit of a background, Albert has a number of biological children, but over the years, through his charity, he's helped many children, and some of those children he's adopted. And so when he's saying he has 11 people or 13 people in that car, 11 of those were either his biological children he's adopted, or children that he's fostered.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, this is how remarkable this man is.
Who's funding this? I mean, this obviously is costing a lot of money. Where does that come from?
Well, donations. If you go on his website, you'll see, he's always asking for donations. And to be honest with you, this is not a big, it's not a website that that it's gotten a lot of exposure in this country. So he's primarily, asking donations of his fellow Ukrainians and Europeans and other people like myself who know him and have been there and know what good work he does with his charity.
I was going to say, you kind of have to know him in order to trust that you're giving, because there's so many websites out there.
That's the case. And right now, this is the difficulty. And he's explaining that even if you have money over there, it doesn't do you a lot of good because you can't really access it.
Didn't even think about that, because you're in an occupied territory. You don't have any money anymore.
And not only that, you may have money, but
it's not the same currency, right?
It's this. Well, the currency is called the hryvnia, which is it is, you can trade in U.S. dollars. So if you were to send U.S. dollars, they would they would turn it into hryvnia.
Would the Russians accept that, because now they're in occupied territory?
Well, it's a liquid currency,
and
I think that they would be happy to accept any kind of currency. But see, the problem is, even if you were able to send money, is he back?
I think so. Albert, are you back?
I heard a vibration or something.
Let's see. Hold on. We did. Albert, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Oh, good. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you. We were just discussing, Albert, how best to be able to help you and the people in Ukraine right now, being in the West and knowing the limitations that people are under over there. How would we best be able to help?
How is the best way to help? And I think, of course, more than 2 million refugees already cross the western border of Ukraine. So I think help will be needed to those families and to these refugees, and to countries which accepted most refugees. It's Poland and maybe Germany and Slovakia, etc. So, and also many millions people settled to the western regions of Ukraine, like Lviv, Uzhgorod. So all churches and all free spaces use it for refugees. And these organizations need support for foods, to prepare foods, to buy some equipment to to sleep, like mattresses and also some help needed to evacuation process. And if situation will become worse, if, for example, Zaporozhye city become more problems, will have more problems, more shelling, more bombarding, and even more people will try to leave the city. So we need to be prepared, and we need to have medicines also. So such type of help, and other type, if of course it's like local military service. We have Ukrainian army, and we have local military service in cities where people can defend their own city, and they need some equipment to block tanks from entering the city, or some training, some foods, and all these people don't work now, and they need to receive some money for food. So because almost all industry in the city is close to the war line closed, so no work. So I think it will be a great need. And after all will be finished, we need to restore all of this huge damage made to Ukraine economy.
So is there a website that we can visit to give assistance or make donations? Albert, do you have a website you can tell us about?
Yes, our charity, part of some people from our charity, they still works in Zaporozhye. Probably some part will evacuate to Dnipro, its city in more safer place. But we always in connection with children's hospitals of Zaporozhye. And they ask us what they need, some medicines and some materials, and some maybe evacuation will need. So on our website, all charitable accounts, it works now, and we still can order some medicines. It's not very easy process, and delivery is not an easy process. It's much more difficult now, but it works. It works now.
Good. That's good to hear. Can we send money using like PayPal or some other service, or do we still need to be using the wire services like Western Union?
Bank accounts of our charity, they are working, and I hope they will work in future. But just one advice: the best is to be in contact with me or some charity employees to know the current situation, because it can change very quick. For example, Western Union, MoneyGram sometimes can be good, but sometimes you will go to the bank, and bank has no cash, no dollars, no euros, or very limited amount of it. So it depends on what task we would like to do. And if we buy a lot of medical medicines, sometimes it's easier to have money in bank account and pay to the company and buy these medicines. But now, Eric, if you sometimes need to give sometimes you need to give some cash and some food to families. So in this way, it's more important to have some cash money to buy foods, to buy medicines very quick, and give it to families.
I see.
Let me ask you, Eric. I'm sorry, Albert. Now, Western Union is an option. MoneyGram is an option. What about being able to transfer cryptocurrency? Is that something that you accept as well?
We had such experience. I think it's just now it's not an option, but if someone would like to donate, I think we can establish this way too. And but it can be not so quick to convert this money to real money, which we can use in Ukraine.
The reason why I ask is because someone has asked, how we can offer assistance.
Sure, and I can say this as far as the Western Union goes. When I sent money, I helped Albert a little bit by sending some money to him, and I found that the transfer fees were high. But I just heard that Western Union is now eliminating transfer fees to Ukraine. So so that's a good thing. But as Albert says, make sure that they're in a position to accept the money before you send it to Zaporozhye or to charity.
So, Albert, what do you think the future?
Yes, and our charity still count all donations on our website. So we count every donations and we count every usage of this donation all expenses we did.
What is the website? Do you know it?
I know it.
Okay.
I can give it if you like.
Yeah, because the people want to know. So.
Okay, it's .zp as in
.zp
.ua. And
that's it.
Yes, and it'll come up. There's an English page that you can look at as well. So if you /ENG, it'll go to the English page. But you could probably select it from the main page as well, because that's going to be in Russian, most likely.
Do you have the / and ENG?
Did you find it? Did it come up?
Well, I just put it up on the screen, so people.
Yeah. So if you /ENG, then you'll get there. The other thing is you can find it very easily just by Googling Happy Child Foundation Zaporozhye or Happy Child Foundation Ukraine. So that's another way to find it. You'll be able to, and then if you do that in English, it'll come up in English. So.
Okay, I'm just trying to put these in here.
Sure.
Happy Child
Foundation, and just put Ukraine, and it'll come up.
No dot, just
no.
Straight.
This is you're doing a Google search.
Oh, okay.
If you do a Google search.
Albert, one of our viewers here in the United States, his name is David, and he wanted me to relay to you. Please let Albert know that him and his country are in our hearts and prayers. What he is doing, meaning yourself, is very commendable, and you are a hero.
Okay, thank you for these good words, but I think real hero now stay in Ukraine. Unfortunately, we had no options to stay, and our home already occupied. But a lot of heroes now still works in Ukraine, and some of the best people work in Mariupol city, for example, which fully surrounded, and 7 days no connection to the city. And people still fight and still don't give up. So it's incredible, and it's very, very, very. I don't know words for this.
I'm assuming it's very difficult to put everything into words that maybe you want to put into words. Everybody's world really has just been flip-flopped, turned upside down, and now you had to pick up, move on to a completely different country. How are the children dealing with this move and the occupation of Russia coming into Ukraine?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was difficult as a difficult part of the situation because first several days all Ukrainians were in great shock. And we refugees, we had only one car with 13 people in it, and that's all we have. We had the house before and friends, but now we had just car, and we didn't know any place for the next night where we will be. And even now we know for 1 or 2 months the place where we can stay, but we don't know in future, and we don't know what country we will live in or anything. So it's really a strange situation for us.
So the future is still, very much unsure at this time.
Yes.
Yes, Albert. I know you say you're not the real hero, but in my mind, you are. I've known you for a number of years, and I've seen how you work, and what you've done is absolutely heroic with all the children that you've helped.
Thank you.
So I want you to know that. So you're probably the bravest person I've ever met. So we're behind you here, Albert.
I think you need to know that.
Thank you, all people who. Yeah.
I don't know what you have been told or you hear from people in the United States, but I have not heard any chatter, talk, gossip, reports of people that are against Ukraine. Everybody is praying for Ukraine. Everybody feels sorrow for the people in Ukraine, and we understand. I'm just a person myself. I'm not in the military. I am not part of government or anything like that. And we are all behind you. And this is a horrible situation. And just listening to your story this morning, just getting a little taste, a little bit, is absolutely nothing short of remarkable. I can't imagine to even start to think what you and the children have had to endure driving as long as you had to get across the state and do it safely to where you are now. It's absolutely remarkable. Eric, do you want to caveat off of that, or?
Well, I don't know what else to say. I will say this, knowing Albert, he's not going to stop. You're not going to stop helping the people of Ukraine, even though you have massive problems of your own to deal with your children. You're still thinking of the people back home, and that's going to continue.
Okay, thank you very much for good words. We will try. We will try to continue and do what we can.
Good.
Is there anything else, Eric, that you would like to add to, or Rich? Anything you'd like to add to?
No, I'm just saying good luck, and I hope everything works out, and stay safe as possible.
And thank you for being available for this conversation. I know it's difficult because of your situation you're in, but it's so important for people to hear directly from somebody what is going on. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and so it's best to hear from someone who has actually gone through it.
Okay, thank you. I don't understand all of the words, very bad connection, but thank you for all good. And yes, and also I just remember some appeal maybe for countries like United States, Canada, and countries more far from Ukraine to help more to countries which is close and which receive a huge amount of refugees now. Because I think it's the world need to make a balance, not put all burden to only one country like Poland. So it's important now.
Okay.
If Albert, if you could sum this all up, and if there was a message that you wanted to send to people in the United States or Canada regarding the situation in the war in Ukraine, what would you say?
What to do today?
No, what would you say? What would you tell
I would
people?
suggest except of
Oh, he's there. Oh, no, there it goes.
Oops.
There it goes. The internet connection is, he alerted us that it's spotty at best, I think you said.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But when he's connected, it sounds great. I mean,
it sounds wonderful. And it's wonderful to hear him. Although, like I said, I've known him for like over 10 years. The last few years, my communications with him have been spotty, and I feel kind of bad that I haven't kept that up. But now that we've been able to reconnect, and it's such a great need, like I said, he's somebody I trust implicitly. So I really feel as if, his being able to talk to us directly is so valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the people here in Southeastern Connecticut, we're not the big money people. We're not, Fairfield County, but, we step up.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because we know our neighbors and we help them. And, if we include the Ukrainians as part of our neighborhood, I think, we'll be able to do something. So,
positive comments from people that are watching.
Yeah.
Crystal says, we are working on more practical ways to help. Keep up the good work. We're cheering for you. We're rooting for you, Albert. Donna says it would be great to get updates from him. So
yes,
if we can continue to go ahead and get updates to make sure that he's safe and the kids are safe and what life is like. It's something, it's unlike anything that we're aware of.
Right.
Or have gone through.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
So it's interesting. I mean, this is just one little factoid that sprung into mind. So over the years, Albert, he has on his page, he has in the number of donations he's gotten, and I want to say probably over the last 15 years of his charity, he's collected in excess of like $5 million and dispersed that. But here's a man who left his home, left his life, and all he had was that van.
Mm-hmm.
All he had was that van with 13 people in 8 seats. and he's starting over. He had virtually nothing. We were able to send him a little money, and I think that helped him get across the border. And the leftover money he didn't keep. He didn't say, well, I'm going to hold on to this, and because I'm going to need it for a rainy day. He was telling me, well, I had to send $100 back to Ukraine to somebody who was trying to leave. Yeah. So he's not thinking of himself.
I was going to ask you, where does all the money? There's different parts in Ukraine, different organizations. How does that?
I mean, this is just one charity. I'm sure there are many charities. There's a lot of.
I'm sure he's part of a network.
But he is. Over the years, he's the orphanage system in Ukraine has been an issue. Back 100 years ago, we got rid of most of our orphanages, right? We now have foster care system. Ukraine never did, and on the Soviet system, if you had a problem with your kid, you sent him to the orphanage. Mm-hmm. If you couldn't pay for your kid, you sent him to the orphanage or the children's home or whatever they call it. Right. We call it an orphanage. They might call it something else. Mm-hmm. A school. They might call it like a school, but it's a school like almost like what we sent the Indians to, back in the Native Americans back, in the days when we were trying to separate them from their families. It's the same sort of school. It's like a boarding school. And so these kids lose track of their families and they become institutionalized. So he's trying to disrupt and take that system apart and institute or trying to get more of a foster care system similar to what we've got here, because no matter how well run an orphanages are terrible places for kids. They're just awful. And I experienced that when I was over there because I spent some time in an orphanage over there, and I saw what was going on. It's no different than the kind of institutionalization you see in prisons and stuff like that. It's the same sort of thing that happens with these kids, and it's and they haven't done anything wrong except being their circumstances.
They were born
birth. So. Yeah. So, but he's spent a lot of time trying to disrupt that and reconfigure that system, not by himself, of course, but by, advocating for other alternate ways of doing things. And in fact, they did change. They stopped, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe they essentially stopped sending kids to many of these orphanages, and they vastly expanded their foster care system, which has its own problems, but it's nothing like an orphanage. It's not, he's had great impact. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's not him by himself. I'm talking as if he's the only one that did it, but I'm just because I know him. So I've seen what he's done.
One peg in the system.
Sure.
So if you're just tuning in and you're wondering what we're talking about, we're talking about a gentleman named Albert Pavlov, Pavlov, right?
Yes.
That he's a Ukrainian refugee, has fled the country along with a total of 13 people in a van that has 8 seats. Went across the country, or to the western part.
Yes,
went
across
into
the entire country.
Went into Hungary, then into Austria, and now has taken up residence, temporarily in outside of Munich, Germany.
Right.
Just to and he's part of an orphanage. He heads up an orphanage.
Well,
him and his wife, right?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't head up an orphanage. What he heads up is an organization that helps orphans.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So it helps many people in many orphanages and also people in other. And he actually has started some almost family-centered homes for kids. They're not orphanages. They're more like foster homes. Yeah. But so things like that. Yeah, he's not directly affiliated with any orphanage.
So what we're trying to say is that later on, when this program is over, it will be posted, and you can rewind it back and you can listen to Albert. We had him on the show for probably about 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It was a very clear connection. He dropped once, came back, but still when he spoke, it was a good, clear connection, and his English was a lot better than I thought it would be. And because you had said that he had, spotty English, but he sounded very, very.
And sounds better English than some people I know.
And I'll tell you, Eric, probably the thing that hit me the most is just listening to his voice, the cadence in his voice. He sounded like he was okay, and he was in control of what's going on. That's just amazing, considering everything that has happened and what his current situation is now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We could just imagine being woken up in the morning with the explosions of Russian troops coming down and packing everybody up and leaving. That's
well, he saw what was happening and he knew he had to leave. I think.
Well, that was one question I was going to ask if I had the chance. Was like this wasn't a surprise that this was going to happen, at least according to our news. So I want to know the truth. What from his side? What were they expecting? Were they really expecting this? Were they
just not then?
Right. Yeah. Like, what was the real story based on? Because our news stories are.
That's a good question. What he was expecting, I can't say. I think what a lot of people were expecting is this that Putin was just playing a game of brinksmanship, and that he wasn't, he was going to threaten. He might make a little incursion here or there, but not really, do a full-on invasion. So that caught a lot of people off guard, and I don't know if it caught the Ukrainian people off guard or not. I don't know. I don't know.
Because you watch our news, they were like walking around. They got going out to dinner the night before.
Complete surprise.
Well, they were, but here's the thing: Ukraine's been, essentially in a low-level war with Russia for years, because they took over Crimea, and then the eastern,
rebels and stuff.
Donbass region has been like essentially taken over by Russian troops. This is not altogether a surprise to them. I think the scope of this incursion, this invasion, this war is
so the actual destruction is what's surprising.
Is well beyond what anybody was anticipating. But also what is well beyond what anybody is anticipating is the spirit and the resistance of the Ukrainian people to this whole thing. That has also caught everyone by surprise, including, I think, Putin. I mean, that's hopeful.
That's one of the things that I've heard on the news. The big news. People like, whether it's Fox, CNN, and MSNBC, Reuters, Al Jazeera, even.
That part's consistent.
That's consistent. And matter of fact, and I don't think they have a choice to be that consistent. And I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot of people. If you go on Snapchat. One of the social media networks, and you move the map over to where Ukraine is, there are people that are posting. I mean, just people like you and I that are posting what's happening.
Right. And in real time.
In real time. People that are doing live streams on Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. So you can't really, there's no room for error when it comes to like the big media, because this is what's happening and they're seeing it firsthand. We never had that.
This is new. This is new. Yeah. You're absolutely right. My daughter was actually telling me, she's saying she's watching, I don't know if it was Snapchat, but it was someplace on the internet. She was watching in real time the Russian troops attacking the nuclear power plant in Zaporozhye. So that, it's like, wow, what do you say? It's, you can't deny this, guys. This is happening. So,
and it's happening like this.
Yes.
And Fox or anybody else can't screw with it, because it's out there. And so, because whatever. So, hopefully we can get an update. And hopefully we can do this again. And contact Albert and have you come back in and have another conversation.
What I would like to do is, I'm going to try. I was able to reach out to people in Zaporozhye, and I actually contacted the charity. There's one gentleman there who speaks passable English, and I'd like to be able to get somebody who's actually in Zaporozhye right now and just to comment directly on the situation there. So I may continue to just reach out and see if I can find. There are most people there spoke Russian, Ukrainian, which is similar. To Russian, Ukrainian is very similar to Russian, but it's a separate language. But there are a few English speakers, and I'll keep reaching out, see if I can find, because it would be good to have somebody, who's actually Albert has an amazing story to tell, but somebody who's actually there and witnessing this firsthand. It would be good to.
So geographically, Zaporozhye is more towards the eastern region.
If you draw a line between Kiev and Crimea, Zaporozhye is about halfway.
Okay.
Okay. It's on the river, the Dnieper River, the Dnipro, Reka Dnipro, they call it. It's a Dnieper river. It's as I say, very industrial place. Has the nuclear power plant. It also has one of the largest hydroelectric dams, I think, in the world. I don't know. Okay. But it's huge. I actually crossed it. And it's got auto manufacturing. They manufacture, I know, jet plane engines and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know, Bridgeport, Pittsburgh. It's one of these. It's a gritty city. It's not, it's not real.
So the interesting fact is, he said they're occupied right now. But you look at a lot of the maps; they don't show it being occupied that far down.
That's his perspective, and I don't.
That's why our news isn't. That's why it's interesting listening.
I don't. I mean, we may not know. I mean, to his way of looking at things, I think what's going on in Zaporozhye right now is everybody's business is now wrapped around the fact that the Russians are here. It's no longer that they're on their way, but they're here. Right. So I think that's what he's saying is they're occupied. They may not actually be
in control
of everything, but they're. I think that's what he's talking about, and it's affecting everything. It's
affecting the whole country. I imagine.
Yeah.
There's a message here from Court Kinney, basically really toward to you, Eric, and it says, thank you for having this information on Ukraine. God bless Albert, his family, and the people of Ukraine. I'm reading it because you can't see it from where you are.
Sure.
It's a shame that the world can't do more for them. The leaders of Russia have abused and annihilated those people for over 100 years. I hope you can speak about this tonight at the Historical Society meeting when you have your pottery presentation.
Okay. That's it's funny that these two things are happening the same day. So I've been invited to go to the Historical Society to present. I'm a potter, and I make and sell early American redware pottery.
Steinhagen pottery.
So so they asked me to do a presentation. So I'm going to go there, and they very generously, I would have done this for free, but they very generously gave me a fee. And once all this stuff started coming down, I said, well, this fee just has to go to Ukraine. So I was going to talk about it anyway. So I'm happy to talk about it there. Sure.
Now, let me ask you this, and this is probably, unfair to ask you right here, right now, because I don't want you to feel like you're being put on a spot.
Okay.
But you are.
But I'm gonna. If people want to send money to Albert and, in his charity, but they don't want to go through the whole website, can they reach out to you? And you give them the information, or how they can.
Yes, contact me. Absolutely.
Okay.
Contact me. We'll talk about it. We'll see if we have people that don't want to go through the rigmarole and just want to give me the money and I'll forward it. I'm fine with that. I'm not real. I don't want to be inundated with a bunch of hordes of cash and stuff like that. I don't want to be put in that position because I'm not a charity. I'm not registered. I don't have any of the legal mechanisms.
Well, even if you could give the information, you probably know.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sure. But I mean, if you're looking to give to Albert and you don't know how, or you don't want to deal with other stuff, just contact me. Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that. And
so email is Steinhagen7
at AOL.com.
Right. And that's STEINHAGEN.
The website is just as simple as going in and
7 at AOL.
Yeah. That's our website. You can the email address, Steinhagen7 at AOL.
Crystal Snyder says, I volunteer to help Eric. I'm his neighbor. And she even spelled your first name correctly.
Wow. She did. That's a remarkable achievement. Crystal, I salute you. Because my name is spelled E-R-I-C-H.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to say E-R-I-K or E-R-I-C.
E-R-I-K is more Nordic, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But the CH, that's a German thing. So all my life I've been fighting that battle.
Let's put it to sleep right now.
So it's really Erich.
No, Eric, that'd be A-R-I-C. All right, Eric, thank you very much for coming by. And I would like to continue this dialogue.
Sure.
And I think it's very valuable information that we have the correct perception of what's happening over in Ukraine, in the surrounding regions. So,
I'm not claiming to be the font of knowledge for Ukraine. I can just speak from my own experience. That's all I can speak.
And you know what, and having that connection, that's the most valuable type, because, it's unclouded. It's just another person coming in, there really doesn't have an agenda.
There's no political motivation behind anything. It's just, this is the way it is for real people that are experiencing it. It's interesting.
And I hate political motivation. I really honestly do. So, all right. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're most welcome.
All right. It's Erich Steinhagen, and you could reach out to him for questions on how you can get a hold of Albert, which you can go ahead and rewatch as many times as you want. The website is up on the screen as well. It's www.deti.zp.ua/ENG.
Or you can just Google Happy Child Foundation Ukraine.
Okay.
Yeah, and that'll get you right to the English page. So
very good. All right.
Excellent.
We are going to end it for today. We thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We will be back tomorrow morning, Friday, with more goofy stuff, because tomorrow is Ask Chris Anything on a Friday morning. What are you talking about?
Is it good enough?
You'll be sleeping.
That true story. Yes.
Is it good enough? His name is Chris Goodenough. So there you go. There's a play on words there.
Okay, good enough.
Good enough. Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hi, I'm Harry, the Tooth Fairy. Or at least I used to be the Tooth Fairy. Business was great. Then people started discovering Griswold Dental. Dr. Norman Katzoff and his staff can do things to help you keep your teeth longer. It's enough to make an old Tooth Fairy cry. Griswold Dental can do all the work in-house. Imagine a new crown in 2 hours. They even know how to make dental anxiety go away. They even have a laser that can help with your gums. Griswold Dental will make you want to smile again. They can restore, clean, and help prevent all those problems that keep me in business. Dr. Katzoff and his staff will make you feel like family. They're friendly, and you'll